What's up, everyone?
Fourth and one.
Love that.
Our sports podcast.
The New York Football Giants. Love that.
What's up, everybody? This is episode number 32 of Fourth and One, a sports podcast. Fourth and One is presented to you by Why Am I a Nerd Podcast Network, where everyone is a nerd about something. My name is Sean Farrell, and sitting opposite of me is the golden voice of podcasting, Mr. Matthew Ferreira.
What's up, everybody? Got you with the double guns here.
Hey.
Little Shooter McGavin.
Is it Golden Voice or Cameron Montefiore? We don't know, but I'm sure that's actually cut out of the episode. On this episode of Fourth and One, we are back to talk Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Super Bowl. We also empty out our mailbag from the last month. Also, joining us tonight, his second appearance on the show, because he did appear in the draft episode briefly.
Fair.
But this is his first as the featured guest, hailing from the land we like to call South Kakalaki. It's
Not
Patrick
a real place.
Max McWiggin.
You cannot actually travel there.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Looking forward to this episode with y'all.
What's up? What's up, Matt? What's going on?
I'm just sitting here drinking a little
What are you eating?
19 Crimes Cali Red, eating some chicken nuggets and maple barbecue sauce like a goddamn adult.
Is that a Lunchables new featured sauce?
Yeah, 100%. And as you can see, I have a Power Ranger shirt on. I'm 90s to the max right now. I got the Power Ranger shirt, the magic hat. And it's not number 9. We're not talking beer. It's an actual magic hat. Let's fucking go.
I like that enthusiasm. Almost as enthusiastic as Tom Brady leaving the parade boat. What did you guys think about that?
Oh, sorry, Pat. Do you want to go first?
No, you got it.
Tom Brady might be more likable now than he's ever been.
100%.
The fact that he's just living this Florida man vibes, I love it. I'm here for it. I'm all about it. Fucking keep doing Utah. I hope he plays till he's 50 now. I really kind of do. He's got at least 2 more Super Bowls in him.
Yeah. Pat, where did you stand on the Tom Brady likability prior to the Super Bowl? I mean, I personally was a guy in the beginning, the guy that wins all the titles. It's like the LeBron James factor where you just hate how good they are, but eventually you like. For me, I end up liking him, especially after seeing him. We've all been there.
The hate about LeBron James is the state he's from.
Where do you stand on it?
Fuck Ohio State.
For the whole New England years, could not stand the guy. Respected him
For
obviously.
all the New England years until he came to Florida.
Until he moved to Florida, and then something about this year, Tom. I was like, I could root for this guy. Don't want to root for this guy, but I could root for this guy. He's I think this year he just showed us a whole different side of him that was really cool to see. And I'm not the biggest Antonio Brown fan either, but to see him take him into his house and kind of help him back in the league was really cool. It's hard to root against a guy that is helping other people like that. And it has 7 Super Bowls, but yeah,
that's a good point. I'm upset Cameron is not here because he actually claims, according to his statistics in his alternate universe, Tom Brady has only won 1 Super Bowl. If you take out, you've heard his arguments, the LeBron James argument.
I mean, it's
I'm not trying to lose credibility for the podcast, but I like to hear conspiracy theories too. But yeah, watching Tom Brady stumble off that boat, we've all been there. It's like a relatable moment for a lot of people where you're like, wow, he's a human being.
Larry texted me and was like, "Did you see Tom at the parade today?" And I was like, "No, dude." And I went and looked, and he was having a hell of a time. It looked like a coastal boathouse party or something.
Yeah,
There's a version of that as a meme that I've seen with the parental advisory sticker, and I'm like, I need that as a shirt, give me a pink shirt with that picture of Tom Brady leaning with the parental advisory sticker on the bottom. That's made. That's summer 2021 all over it. Because that's what we're all going to be like when bars reopen again.
That's true. TV12, I went on that website, and I might have to cop one of those shirts too.
Oh, yeah? Hold on. I'm going to look that up right now. Hold on. Let's see. TV12.com.
Yeah. And also, avocado tequila is apparently not a real thing. So when he was, I couldn't find it. I don't know.
That's so disappointing. Oh, I'm gonna Google it myself now.
Yeah.
But his drunk tweet was also like another thing where you're like, all right,
Great.
He's just a regular guy. Like
Yeah.
The more I read it, the better it got because I missed so many typos the first time. Caught more the second, caught more the third. I'm like, I get it. I've been there.
Yeah.
Confef, it happens to the best of us.
So what about Gronk? Do you think Gronk hangs it up after the Super Bowl, or do you think he's coming back for some more? Because Tom Brady's coming back. Tom
Brady's back. Gronk's back.
I feel like he'll be back for at least one more year.
He didn't miss a game this year. It was like the first time since
his first year.
Yeah, it's been a while, but his body was healed up. So I don't see why he wouldn't play. He's only 30. Yeah, he's only like 32 years old, 31 years old or something.
He's the same
Gronk,
age as
is he even
Travis
that
Kelce.
old?
Yeah. They're like they were talking about him being like the greatest tight end of all time. And they're like Travis Kelce can catch him, and I think they're about the same age.
I think they are. Like I think there's like not even a year difference between them. But
They're 31. Yeah, hold on. So Gronk's May 14th, 1989.
God damn. Yeah, so he's 31.
Jason Kelsey's October 5th, 1989. That's wild.
Jason or Travis?
Oh, sorry, Travis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's insane. You think he's been around so long that you just don't even realize.
You don't think about it at all. Yeah.
No.
And did y'all see that thing about Bruce Arenas talking about the practice for like if Tom or Gronk wanted a day off, like they're not going to walk away when he's like letting them do whatever they want in practice, like and still winning the Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts. There's a new, or it's not actually not new. It's 3 years old, but I just found it's called Suiting Up with Paul Rabel. He's like he started the Premier Lacrosse League. He's like a huge lacrosse player in the United States, and he just interviews athletes, sports professionals. He interviewed like the people that started the sports science segment on ESPN, and he interviewed recently Sue Bird from WNBA, and she was talking about like she doesn't do like drills in practice. She's like, I'm either riding the bike, stretching, or if they're going to scrimmage, I'll scrimmage. That's my practice. She's like, I'm not going to she's like, as my body gets older, it's not worth it for me to waste time running the weave in basket, like, like doing layup drills. Like it's
makes sense.
She's like, I'm going to get X amount of shots up per day. And, she's like, I know where I need to be to perform. And I mean, I feel like with these guys, they know what they need to do. They're not out there doing tackling drills and shit like that. That's like,
I thought you were about to say doing taxes for a second, which would have been even funnier. They're just on the field like, all right, what did I claim last year? I'm scrolling down. They're out there just doing taxes. P.S. I found the Tom Brady parental advisory shirt. If I can find a website where I can make these shirts, it's fucking on.
I think 100%. Someone might be doing it already. You might have to look up the Twitterverse for that one.
That's a good call, actually. Yeah, if I can just buy it without having to do it myself.
What about I guess let's talk about the other side of it. Kansas City Chiefs.
So many things off field. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're
a question
good.
for you guys about that later too. So
cool. I just felt, Patrick Mahomes was doing all he could, but like when we made our predictions originally, like I didn't really think about not having two of your best offensive linemen and
your coach's son and linebackers coach getting into a terrible car accident. That obviously plays a major role, and a very sad one, best wishes out to that family that was hit, in the hopes that they fully recover, because that is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, that is why, especially like, why are you like, there's no way this guy's making less than $300,000 a year, right? Like there's no way. You can't buy an Uber. You can't call somebody else to drive you home. Like what is going on here? Like, I just don't understand when you get to that level. Like, why are you not?
That's like I don't know if, since you're local here, Matt, Bruce Springsteen just came out that he was charged with the DUI in November. Like,
in Sandy Hook, yeah.
I read a conspiracy theory on it, but just for the simple fact of what you're saying is like, when you're that rich, you have that money. Why are you even like risking it?
Like what's the point?
It's even as a normal human being, like there's so many options now to get home. It's so easy to order an Uber or Lyft or whatever. than just fucking make a terrible decision. But
Yeah, just do it.
yeah, distractions like that definitely, they're going to add up and play off the field. Distraction for a team that they couldn't afford that with what they had going on the field as far as like personnel.
Well, and the fact that it's Andy Reid's son too, it's not just another coach, like, that
Right.
personally is affecting him as well. Like,
yeah, I actually like that. Andy Reid's another guy that like you hate because he obviously was the coach of the Eagles, growing up, and now he's a likable. He's turned into a likable figure that like you kind of like you feel bad for the guy that didn't cash in on this opportunity too. So
yeah.
It's funny how that happens. That happens to me a lot with like certain players and coaches and athletes. Like you get used to them for so long that you just come around eventually.
Have you ever started liking a team after a player or coach left?
No, I don't think so.
I think after they left,
I mean,
I'm trying to think who would have
the
to
day
leave.
that, maybe by the time Matt's 90, he'll like Ohio State.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm trying to think who would have to leave Ohio State for me to like.
I didn't mean like your rival team, like just like a team you might not have liked, but like now that certain player or coach is gone, you're like, okay, well, maybe
that's a tough one. I don't know if there's anybody that I dislike like that. I'm pretty good at separating the player.
I mean, for me, like I don't like the Red Sox, but I don't have anyone on that team now that they have like that's on their team now that like there's no beef with anyone because there's no one on that team that's hurt the Yankees in the past 5 years, and if they did, they're all gone. Like they've literally rebranded or ripped up their whole entire squad. So it's I don't like, maybe it's not that I like them now. It's more that I dislike them a little less than I used
you hate
to.
them less than you.
I hate them less than I used to. So maybe it's not, I don't think I'm going to come around on that, but still, it's different. Like around here, you have multiple sports teams in our area, like, the Jets and the Giants and like, the Rangers, Devils, Islanders. And a lot of people are like, as a Giants fan, I don't hate the Jets. I actually feel, and I think Matt would probably agree. We just feel bad for them.
Yeah, pretty much. I got nothing. I have one friend who's like, fuck the Jets, just because they're a rival team to us. I'm like, they're not, though. Like, not even close. It's like, that's like one time I was having a conversation with a young lady who was very passionate about the Giants, but swore to me that the Patriots were bigger rivals to the Giants than the Eagles. And I was like, you are passionate. I'll give you points for that, but you don't understand divisions, clearly. Like, because that's not how that works. Like, we play the Patriots once every 4 years and we whoop their ass twice in the Super Bowl. They're not even remotely our rivals. Like, I can see a yes for baseball. If you want to take a baseball rivalry cross sport, sure. You can say, Yankees versus Red Sox, reimagined as Giants Patriots, but I don't really see how that applies on its own to football.
Yeah. I know the Patriots, a lot of AFC teams considered them the rivals because they always meet in the playoffs. And I would probably think now that, Brady's gone and they might not be a threat in the playoffs, for who knows how long.
Right.
That maybe the teams, they like, they're not worried about him anymore. Not that they like them, but.
So do you guys want to see Bill be successful after Tom?
I think he's one of the best coaches in history. You got to give credit where credit's due.
I don't think it matters for him. I think it mattered more for Tom Brady.
No, but like as someone who disliked the Tom Brady
Patriots. I like Bel. I never hated Bel. I don't really hate Belichick. I like respect Belichick for like, his press conferences and like,
oh yeah,
he doesn't give a shit. Like, and no one has anything to say because he's been doing that for so long. It's not like, I don't know. I'd like to see him like, prove that it's his system that is successful.
Yeah.
I think they just had a rough year this year. I think they're going to bounce back.
I mean, they had a ton of opt-outs too, like almost more than any other team.
Yeah, I think they had a lot. They had a lot of factors. I mean, you brought in a bum ass Cam Newton
with no preseason at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I think we also forget about that there wasn't there. The preparation for these seasons was just bottom of the barrel, non-existent.
Yeah, to say the least.
So like even for the Giants, for us, like I think if we had a full like all these mini camps, training camps, especially with Joe Judge, a whole new staff, I think you probably would have saw a difference in, maybe a couple wins. Like maybe that's us getting to the playoffs because we had extra preparation.
If you think about the first couple weeks of the season, we're pretty much the preseason. I mean, you had to fill them out during that time because you didn't get another time to do it.
So. That is true.
I would agree. I think the Giants would have had a couple more wins.
Yeah, which, I mean, it could have made all the difference. There's a couple games in the beginning. I think Saquon put too much literally on his own back. And that's why, he made that extra move, and that's why he got hurt against the Bears. But if I could pause it right there after speaking about my favorite player, if you'll both check your phones.
I already responded.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it. All right, you're in.
Well, go ahead, make the announcement. I'm sorry.
We're now making this. I don't think we can profit off it. I think that's somehow illegal. But I am making this Tom Brady shirt in pink with him and the parental advisory sticker coming out. There's going to be no words to it.
I'll buy one for. I'll buy if Cameron James's. He'll take a small.
He's on there.
But let's see I'd like to see what he responds, regardless.
Oh my God, it's gonna be great.
Oh, he's not in that group.
Oh, it's right. He left. Oh my God, he left. I forgot.
He's disconnected from the fantasy world until next season. I don't know. But all right, Matt. Before we get into your announcements, since this is Pat's first time on the show, I want Matt to play a little game. And this game I like to call Grumpy Cat or Pat. I'm going to read you a small phrase, or I guess it's it's a fact, and you have to tell me if it's Grumpy Cat or Pat. And this is quick fire, okay?
All right, let's go.
There's no right or wrong. There's no score. It's just so you can learn more about Pat. And,
God.
And actually, there's a story behind why this is the title, but we'll let Pat talk about that after. All right, so away we go. Huge fan of the Clemson Tigers.
Pat.
Was born in Morristown, Arizona.
Grumpy Cat.
Correct. Favorite song is Enrique Iglesias' Hero.
Grumpy Cat?
No, that's Pat. Was originally named tartar
I can
sauce.
be a hero, baby. That's probably Grumpy Cat.
Correct. Favorite thing to play with are bags and string.
This is a tough one. Gonna go Grumpy Cat.
You are correct. Once ate 45 Nature Valley bars in one sitting.
Oh, that's Pat.
Yeah. Has a brother named Pokey.
Real name or nickname?
That is the name of the human/cat.
Grumpy Cat.
Correct. Likes to hide behind curtains.
Pat.
Incorrect. Grumpy Cat.
Come on, Pat. What are you doing here?
Got blacked out at Wet Willie's on New Year's Eve.
Pat.
Has been mistaken as a stunt double from the movie Rudy.
Pat.
Correct.
What the fuck? Stunt double. That's hilarious. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Shits in a litter box.
How many toilets you have in that house? You got what, a kid, a wife? I'm going to go with Grumpy Cat, but you never know. That's a clutch second option.
And our last one passed away in 2019 at the age of 7.
It has to be Grumpy Cat, right?
Yes. R.I.P. And that is our game, Grumpy Cat or Pat. All right, Pat, please just give a little backstory on that.
Oh, look at him.
So I worked on the MTV Movie Awards when Conan O'Brien hosted them. And for the cold open, he wanted to do 50 celebrity cameos. So we went around. I went around LA with the film crew and the company I worked for, and we would film it with them.
So cool.
And one of the celebrities we met was Grumpy Cat. So it was
that is awesome
experience. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Matt. After that fun-filled game of
that was good.
The facts.
I
literally made that game up 20 minutes ago.
That's actually amazing. I love
honestly,
that.
I'm surprised the futon Santa hat wasn't in there.
I'll send out some pictures later. Once fell asleep and had French fries all over their face. Pat,
Mm-hmm.
Matt, tell them where they can find us.
Well, for those who aren't aware, the uninitiated, you can find us on Instagram at Why Am I a Nerd Official. That's WHYAM, the letter I, a Nerd Official. On Facebook and YouTube at Why Am I a Nerd, spelled exactly the same way. On Twitter at fourth, it's number 4, THANDWON pod. Please like, rate, and review and subscribe. 5 stars, as always, is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime.
All right. So for people that have listened before, what we usually do is Pat will have all these questions that he sends me every week. And then I kind of piece together and put together whatever questions that I think are, we're going to know what to talk about, or that are on topic, or that, might strike a chord in somebody that's going to be on. And in this episode, I'm just going to take every question that Pat sent us that's been just rolling in, and we're just going to go through all of them and clear them out for the week. So, Pat, just kick us off, and we can answer the questions. They can be short, whatever we can get into. Bigger discussion doesn't matter.
I feel like some of them you'll definitely have shorter, and some you guys might, actually have a little debate on. So we'll start with the NFL. Number 1, obviously, congrats to Tampa Bay on winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady on winning his 7th. What does a 7th Super Bowl win do for Tom's legacy, and has he made it pretty much unreachable now?
Yes. I mean, I don't see another team being able to replicate that kind of success for as long as he did with the Patriots. But now the fact that granted, yes, the Bucs are a stacked team, but it still took that kind of poise, and his presence in the locker room, I think, goes by very underrated. People just think he kind of walked into a stacked team and just won by default. But it does take a lot of leadership. That Bucs team was very undisciplined for years prior to him getting there. So I think he's probably got 2 to 3 more in, and we could be seeing a 10-ring Brady, in which case we might need the Avengers to stop him from assembling all that hardware. I really don't know what else we can do.
Yeah. I think it pushes him out of and I've seen this around, out of the conversation of greatest football player of all time, and put him into the conversation of greatest professional athlete of all time. There's a lot of the memes going around with him staring against Jordan, and him, Gretzky, Jordan, you're seeing a lot of that now. And it's not even a question whether he's the top football player of all time. Now, do you think, I guess for you guys, it's a follow-up on that one. Do you think we'll see a player in our lifetime? Okay. Because I believe if you ask this to people that, our parents' age, hey, would you ever see someone break, so-and-so's record of Super Bowls? They'd be like, no way. Do you think we'll ever see someone else get to this level of, 7 Super Bowls as a quarterback or just player?
I don't know if it'll be limited to just football, but if you think about basketball, Bill Russell's got 11 rings, which you're nobody's ever going to get close to that. And it's way tougher to do in football than it is in basketball. No disrespect to basketball, but you can have one player be that much further above everyone else, cue LeBron James, and go to straight finals to finals to finals to finals. It's very possible if you have a player that dominant. You can be the best player in the world on a football team, but it's a team sport more than any other one. So I think for Tom Brady to win that often, it's obviously it can be replicated. It's highly unlikely. I think we're more likely to see it in a different sport before we see it in football again.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Pat? What do you think?
I think so too. I mean, just piggybacking off Matt, I think basketball would probably be the one that somebody could win. Because if you think about other sports baseball, Kershaw, who is one of the best pitchers of our generation, just got his first ring. You got Mike Trout, who's one of the best outfielders of all time. Hasn't even made it to a World Series, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know if he's played in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I mean, and then football. I mean, I just don't see how somebody can make it to a Super Bowl as many times as Tom Brady has. I mean, you got to think about the longevity of the career too. I mean,
there's luck too. There's a lot of luck, I mean, he could have if he won every Super Bowl, he would have been double digits right now. Mm-hmm. Except he had to face one team twice. The New York
football. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Giants. Well, let's fucking go, Big Blue.
And and then
The
go
only
to-
thing that
go to
breaks my
Colts.
heart is that the fucking Eagles got in there. Like the fucking piece of shit. Goddamn Eagles. I was really drunk and I flipped out a little bit. I was
Yeah,
mostly
but they've also
and they won.
gotten rid of that quarterback and fired that coach. So-
Yeah. Yeah, whereas Eli went back and did it again.
That's right.
Eli came back and said, "King me."
Shout
No,
out
you call him a
to
fluke.
shout out to JPP too for getting the another Super
Oh.
Bowl win.
Oh, you know him.
You either know him for two things: winning
Or
Super
maybe
Bowls
three.
or blowing his hand.
Definitely was near those cannons when they were firing.
There's a lot of action on Twitter against him.
But you know what? I will say, for everything that's been lobbied against him, he's actually handled all that pretty well. Like he's actually been a pretty good dude about most of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, respect to him.
Yeah, firework awareness month. So everyone checking that.
February is Firework Awareness Month. That's hilarious. Oh,
All
man.
right. So what does Kansas City need to do to bounce back and make it to another Super Bowl? Does this loss put Patrick Mahomes more in the Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers conversation more than the Tom Brady GOAT conversation?
Listen, did you see the throws he was making? Did
Yeah.
anybody see the throws that he was making? He was literally Supermaning in midair, bombed a throw downfield, and it was accurate. So he was more accurate than anything I could throw with practice. Patrick Mahomes, actually, you know, going back to the previous conversation, does stand a chance to break Tom Brady's record. He really does. From the level he's playing at right now already, like I wouldn't be shocked. I really would not.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think they're a couple offensive tackles away from winning a Super Bowl. I mean, I could see them end of the first round. You know, come on down Notre Dame, left tackle Liam Eichenberg is a projected
Liam
guy.
Eichenberg.
But I think they're going to. I mean, I think they have to add a couple pieces, especially on that offensive line. The defense too. I mean, they have a lot of skilled players. I mean,
Yes,
and it
they
doesn't
do.
seem like they're going to go anywhere. And it seems like it's that Tom Brady effect where Patrick Mahomes just makes people better regardless. Like some of the receivers they have aren't, if you put them on another team, you wouldn't even know they were there. He has to keep doing what he's doing. He can't have a slump and like miss playoffs, and you know that team can't get worse. They have to just keep riding that arm and keep adding pieces and not, you know, cut expenses on their part to, you know, if they have to go over and pay taxes on X amount of players or be over the cap a little bit, you got to do it when you have a quarterback like that to win those championships. So,
Fully agreed.
So now we got some quarterback talk here. Stafford and Goff swap teams. What does this move mean for each franchise? And is it now Super Bowl or bust for the Rams?
So I actually heard something interesting that if you put, and I actually thought about it too, if you put Tom Brady on the Rams team this year, they could probably have done the same thing as the Bucs. Like they
I'd agree
had
with that.
similar. If you, let's say he goes to the Rams, they bring Gronk to the Rams. You got Robert Woods, Cup. You know,
Antonio Brown could go too.
exactly. Yeah, Akers, a defense that potentially is better than the Buccaneers. I mean, that could have been great, but I think I didn't really get the trade from the Rams point of view as far as what they gave up to.
I think they just
rid
knew
of that
Stafford wanted to
contract.
go and they wanted to, yeah.
I think the part of it was Goff's contract.
Yeah.
Maybe they know something that no one else knows, because to give up that many picks and a young quarterback for Stafford. I mean, Stafford's good, but like.
Or maybe they're just in full on win now mode. Maybe he just wants, you know what I mean? Like, why can't I think of their coach's name? McVay, thank you. Maybe he just wants to win. But also there's a factor of, and this is factored into why LeBron left Cleveland the first time. What's his Jared Goff was talking about banging his girlfriend. And he was just like, I'm not going to have that. Like, that's where my dick goes. You mind your business and throw the ball down the field.
That,
like,
I did read that. I did read that conspiracy theory. That's the reason they traded him. It's possible. I mean, it could
out
happen.
there. Yeah.
If that's worth the first round pick, I don't know.
You want to win a title? Don't bang the best player on the planet's mom. You want to win a ring? Don't talk about banging your coach's girlfriend. Like, I mean, it's a simple concept to me. I mean, I really just don't see why it's somehow eluding so many people.
As far as the Lions go, I saw a mock draft where they were taking a quarterback. So I was confused by that, but
Yeah.
I don't think they will now.
They can only go up from where they're at. I mean, unfortunately for them, the Bears seem like their defense is going to stay the same. So they're a quarterback. The Bears are a quarterback away from making improvements. You still have Aaron Rodgers there. You have Vikings who had a down season. You're still stuck at the bottom of that division, it seems, but maybe Jared Goff can be the guy. Plus, you bring in all these first-round picks. Whether you make some moves, you're bringing another, a couple more elite talent. You have a lot of young players. I think things are looking good for both teams, and I guess they kind of are getting what they want. Where you got win now on the LA side, and you got build for the future on the Detroit side.
All right. So Wentz is supposedly on the move from Philly. Where do you think makes the most sense for him to go? And would you trade for him after the year he just had if you were a GM? I feel like fans would definitely say no to that answer, but let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm super confused by what the one trade I saw was him going for a first round pick. I was like, what? And then Tariq Cohen and Nick Foles, that kind of blew my mind because number one, he has a huge contract. Mm-hmm. He's hurt. He hasn't done anything really since his rookie season, maybe his second year up until that point when he had that first major injury. I know there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and it seems like we're playing a game of like, hey, put this guy in a different place and he'll succeed. I wouldn't touch Wentz at all. There's too many question marks on him to give up value.
For the amount they want. Yeah, I totally agree. Sorry, I jumped on you. For the amount they want, like, it's crazy considering they already tanked their value themselves. You know what I mean? Like, the Eagles made him look bad, drafted his replacement. Like, oh, trade him, but it's got to be a first. Like, no, like, fuck off. I think Wentz is still a serviceable quarterback. I think he could be good, but like for a first rounder, I'm not trading him. Second, talk to him as second. Speaking of, Giants need to trade Evan Engram and like for whatever we can get. Whatever we can get. Like a Buick fucking LeSabre, 1992. Fuck it. That's the new team vehicle. Trade Evan Engram for it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I think Evan Engram needs to go too. I just have this like eerie feeling as far as Engram goes, like that he gets traded to whatever team and he ends up being like actually he drives like one drop pass, instead of like 15.
Yeah, but at this point, like if he's not going to do it for us, like fuck it. Like I mean
if we can get something, third, I'd even say like a third or fourth round pick at this point. Like I don't think you're going to get. I personally don't think he's worth the first or a second. I think maybe you can convince a team he's worth a third.
Yeah, you might be able to weasel a second out of someone who, for the reasons you just said, thinks they can do something with him. Like I think he could be lethal on a team like the Chiefs. I really do. But like the Giants aren't using him right. I see no indication that we're gonna. Well, I can't even say that we're not using him right. He's not being effective on the Giants. He's had a multitude of different offensive coordinators. I've got to put it on him.
He's also had opportunities.
That's what I'm saying. He's had opportunities and he's not succeeded.
He legitimately this year gave up at least 3 interceptions that were like game. A turnover is a game changer, especially for the Giants this year. It was tough to watch, especially and the first Eagles game he dropped the pass that would have solidified the game. That's a win. The last game of the season, he has the ball go through his hands on a first down. It gets picked off. So I don't know. It's just
that's what he did. All fucking yeah.
Yeah, that's him. Fucking Evan Engram. That wasn't even the question, but fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. He's up there with Bob and Ben McAdoo.
Bob McAdoo is a Hall of Fame basketball player. I was looking at it into
what?
Bob McAdoo is actually like a Hall of Fame NBA player.
No.
Yeah, we was just shaming him, thinking he was Ben's brother.
Holy shit. This picture is actually amazing. Those mutton chops, I feel bad. And he's exactly 69 years old. I take back everything I said about Bob McAdoo. It's only Ben we're mad at now. Like, can we talk about this? These fucking chops, like, god damn. It's amazing. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Well, can you grill those chops out, Matt?
I don't think I have the power. I really don't. I would
You need to grow the chop. You need to grow the chops
Chops
out.
on.
We'll get you a fucking Bob McAdoo jersey.
I was going. Can I do that instead of the fucking Ohio State bullshit I have to do this
Yeah,
summer?
well, let's see if that happens. All right, Pat. Let's move on here.
Let's go. Russell Wilson has announced this week that he is unhappy with how things are going in Seattle. Apparently, teams have been calling the Seahawks about Russell's future. What would it take to get Russell Wilson from the Seahawks?
Well, also a guy that's owed a lot of money. I'm confused by why they're trying to get rid of him.
I don't think they're trying to get rid of him. I think he's frustrated with the fact that all year he was talking about let me cook. And when he was cooking, they were on fire. And then they started running the ball more. You've got Pete Carroll coming out talking about, we need to run the ball more, be more effective running it. And like they went nowhere. So
yeah,
I can't blame him for being frustrated.
You think it's more he's frustrated with the team,
Yes.
not so much the team is ready to move on from him.
He was on the Dan Patrick show this week, and he said he's tired of getting hit. So he's kind of throwing his offensive line under the bus. He also talked about
He should be, though. He's had a shit offensive line forever.
He also talked about not having enough say in like personnel decisions and things along that line. And then his offensive coordinator also just mutually like separated from the team as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good situation for the Seahawks right now because it seems like they have so many holes on defense. Like at this point, if you want to keep him happy, you have to invest as much as you can in protecting him. And it's not like he doesn't have the weapons. Like he has weapons. I mean, he has two of the best receivers. But shore up that offensive line and just, I guess try to get some defensive help where the defense is actually, not getting ran over on the field, losing to the New York Football Giants. I don't know. I mean, but also what is it going to take to trade? Like if they traded him, like what are you going to have to give up to get somebody of his caliber with that contract? It's going to be, close to what Deshaun Watson's going to get.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is. And I've got to say, I got to make a comment here because obviously I'm very close with the Finns dude. He hasn't put this thought in my head. It's just I don't understand why people keep saying. Speaking of Watson, if one more person says the Dolphins need to pick Watson up, they're not fucking paying attention to what the Dolphins have been doing for the last few years. Like this team is building towards having a dynasty. Like they're building towards being a very dominant team in that division for a very long time. Them trading for Watson is so short-term view. It's unbelievable. You're going to give up 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders for a guy who's 25 with a massive contract, or you can just keep fucking Tua, who literally just has to not fuck up. He doesn't have to be good. He just has to not fuck up, and you're in position to win multiple Super Bowls. Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of logic is that? Why would you trade for Watson at this point? I don't understand. But sorry, that's my 2 cents on that. It's been driving me nuts all week.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid point. I mean, and you have a top 3 pick, right?
Yeah, and they got those picks from the fucking Texans. Like, why would you trade it back to them? Like, you fleeced Bill O'Brien and screwed that team over. Fuck it, keep the picks. Like, why would you?
Everyone fleeced Bill O'Brien.
I can fleece Bill O'Brien. I'm like, Bill O'Brien, like, I've got 5 chicken tenders. I want David Johnson and JJ Watt's leg, and I'll trade you these 5 chicken tenders, and you can sniff, I don't know, the towels from Saquon Barkley, and he'd probably fucking do it. This guy has no idea how to make a trade in the history of fucking trade. Like, it's awful. Every time he did something, I was like, why is he employed?
Well, he just went to he's going to rehab
for shitty trading.
No, in the form of bad coaching, bad decisions. He's Nick Saban's new offensive coordinator in Alabama. So that's where coaches, look at Steve Sarkisian, who was
went there to die, basically.
Raging alcoholic in California as the coach of USC. Now landed one of the most premier college football jobs at Texas. So Bill O'Brien, you got to watch out for him because I guarantee he's either going to be in the NFL again or he'll be a top head coach in college after a couple seasons at Alabama. Hopefully the Giants aren't looking for a fucking coach because if you want to hear Matt really rant, Bill O'Brien comes to NYC.
Oh my God, I'd lose my shit. The only thing that make me lose my shit
as the general manager.
The only thing that would make me lose my shit, like I would literally break my desk. I'll mark my words on this. If Bill O'Brien somehow starts coaching Michigan, I will break this current desk I have because I don't know if I'll ever do this in the future. I will break it in half. I love this desk. This desk is amazing. I built it myself. I fucking love it. I will lose my shit and break it in half if Bill O'Brien somehow coaches Michigan.
Wow.
To reiterate,
that's more realistic. That's more realistic. That is actually way more realistic. I didn't even think about that than him going to the Giants. But
going back to the Big Ten.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it here.
That's what I'm scared
of. hot take, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about this a little bit already. Texans are adamant they will not be trading Deshaun Watson. His agent seems to be doing everything he can to make that trade happen. What do you think is going to happen here? Is Deshaun Watson going to get traded? Is he going to start the season with Houston? Will he have to sit and not actually play to actually get traded?
Ooh, I don't know. For him personally, sitting, I haven't really seen that work out that doesn't really work out for the player. They eventually
It did for he didn't win a ring. Never mind. I was gonna say it did for Le'Veon Bell, but he did not win a ring. He got real fucking close though.
You didn't hear his name one time during that broadcast either.
I bet on him too multiple times. I thought he was gonna. I bet on him to score a touchdown. I bet on him to be an MVP in that game. I was like, they're gonna fucking because I don't understand why that didn't happen. I'm like, if I'm the fucking Chiefs, Le'Veon Bell hasn't seen the light of day in years. I'm putting him out there, and he's gonna zigzag across the field. Nobody's gonna be ready for him. And like when they started losing, I don't know why that wasn't an option. I'm like, fuck it, let's see what Le'Veon can do.
Well, actually, and that brings a good point. Shout out to Ant the Stat Man for actually predicting, the only one to predict or pick the Buccaneers to win. So he's now known as the greatest Super Bowl predictor in 4th and 1 history.
Super Bowl champion, the Stat Man.
But Deshaun Watson, as far as he goes, in our lost episode, which did we ever find? Was that the lost episode?
I think it's going up soon. I sent it to Cameron. I don't know.
We actually had a 30-minute conversation about him, and our final predictions was I predicted, and this is prior to all the reports coming out,
three weeks ago. I think I remember you telling me.
It was just before it became the top news story. I predicted the Bears, and Matt actually predicted the Saints. But someone told me Drew Brees is coming back. Is that
he has not officially retired yet? He actually just restructured his contract.
And a Saints fan that I see at the restaurant told me that Drew Brees is coming back for the minimum deal. He's giving up all his money. He's going to let the team invest that money and bring in more players. He changed his contract
to be the veteran minimum.
So that's an interesting thing. But back to Deshaun. I don't know. That might hurt Matt's prediction. I don't know the best. I think the Texans, if the guy doesn't want to play there, yes. Are you giving up possibly maybe one of a top quarterback of all time? Who knows? We don't really. He's shown signs of it, but he's still pretty young. But I think if you're the Texans, you have to get as many assets as you can. If this guy doesn't want to play for you, and you're new GM, new coach, just it pains me to say this, but you have to try to repair that relationship with him.
Yeah,
super high paid, and if you can get so much for him that you can, transfer your team and bring in, multiple first round picks, maybe a couple of starters, free up some cap space. I think you have to make that trade because there's someone out there that needs that quarterback to put them over the edge, and the Texans, if they keep him, they're still years away from competing.
Yeah, I saw a report today that I think the 49ers and the Broncos have both shown a lot of interest lately, and I think he said the Jets are actually not his top choice.
Yeah,
I can honestly see the Jets making sense though.
Yeah.
But he'd be.
Why would you want to go from dysfunction?
Well, not that he would. Does he have a clause or a trade?
Yes, he has a no trade clause.
He does.
So yeah, that's different. I mean, the Jets just have the assets.
Sure, Jared Goff will learn that in his next contract.
Yeah. Actually, and I saw another thing. Matt Stafford, before he left Detroit, him and his wife donated $1 million to build onto like the youth center there as like a final thank you, which is crazy.
That is kind of Matt Stafford, for all the shit I give him for ruining Calvin Johnson's career, isn't that bad of a guy or that bad of a quarterback. I'm willing to concede a little bit here.
He's making amends.
Maybe it was just the Lions organization that ruined.
It could have been. They were just like, throw to Megatron.
Where they drafted a receiver every year for like 6 years.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, this is the answer. This is the only thing we need.
More Megatrons.
More Megatron.
All right. So moving up from Deshaun, Texans release J.J. Watt today. Kind of a cool thing that they're going to let him go his own way. I thought that was really, good of them. But
yeah, but you know what? It's not a Fleetwood Mac song. They're fucking idiots. Like this whole team is just such a mess.
So I know you guys will love this question. Where will this overrated Madden defensive end up?
Well, he is overrated in Madden, and he definitely hit the point where he's getting paid way more than his value to a team. But I still think he could be a good player on the right team.
Oh, yeah.
And I know the second part of the question is, will he play in Pitt? I would say for him personally, if he could play with his brother in Pittsburgh, I think he fits into their defense pretty well.
Yeah, ESPN an hour ago said Steelers, Browns, Bills, and Titans are among teams targeting Watt as of right now.
The Browns would be interesting. I didn't even think about them. The Steelers was the team I immediately thought of, just how they feel like. I feel like they run almost the same defense as the Texans. A true 3-4 defense.
And
also, both his brothers. Yeah, right there. Same shirt style, same mindset. Me and Squigs, we gave Squigs over here. I can't even say.
Oh man,
Sean, what are you sipping on over there? What do you have? What do you?
Well, this is a good moment to go to our sponsor.
Is it avocado tequila?
Me Moms. I don't know if you can see that. That's a custom engraved Me Moms glass.
Is it now?
It is tequila. It is organic tequila that I've been sipping on now pretty consistently. Just trying not to crush 8 beers a night and add on those calories, man. So
I feel that.
Good. But Matt, have you been to Me Moms recently?
I haven't actually, but I heard they have a new French toast for this month. Do you know what it is?
They do. It is the strawberry cheesecake. Oh, actually, sorry. I apologize. It's the red velvet cheesecake French toast. It's 3 pieces of French toast coated with graham crackers, stuffed with a red velvet cream cheese stuffing, topped with strawberries, vanilla drizzle, chocolate drizzle, and powdered sugar. And all the donations this month are going to the American Heart Association. So I believe they were raised $450 for the Ronald McDonald House last month. So, but let's hear that. What would you want from Me Moms on Valentine's Day, since it is right around the corner?
Well, you know what that sounds like. A delectable treat for the morning after. You treat your special person. Take them over to Me Moms and get this delicious red velvet French toast. Let it roll deep down inside you with its creamy goodness. Share it with the people you care about the most. Because this Valentine's Day, come to Me Moms and get it on.
Can we make that a shirt?
We should. Is that an option?
That is an option. Yeah, I do like that. Me Moms is open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Only closed we're only closed in the spring, and actually for the foreseeable future, Easter Sunday. Other than that, every holiday we are good to go. So Yes, that's a good tie-in with my me mom's glass. Thank you to our social media manager Susie for hooking me up with that.
Way to go, Suze.
Props. All right, Pat. Let's continue. After sip, what are you sipping on, Pat? Water?
Yeah.
That's staying hydrated.
You got to stay hydrated. If you drink like Pat did at Coastal Carolina,
is it hot outside? Or maybe you just had a hard workout. Well, do I have the hydration drink for you? It's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Or maybe I said that backwards. I don't know because I don't have enough of it in my system. I've been drinking red wine all night, but what I need is water. That's solid H2O. You get it in your veins and take it to the plains. Because the rain in Spain falls mostly on the plains. Water.
Is this slam poetry again?
Valentine's Day poetry.
Right.
It's cold outside. Need to go in. What can I do? Water for the win. That's all I got for you.
Oh no, Knicks. All right, so the Knicks won tonight, but our center Mitchell Robinson fractures his hand. He's also on my fantasy team.
No,
that does not help out. We beat a Bradley Beal-less Washington Wizards team. So continue, Pat. Sorry.
Yeah. So I got one more NFL question for you guys. Football season's over. It's time to start the draft talk. Are y'all big on draft projections, mock drafts, reading them, staying with them? Will this be one of the toughest years for teams to evaluate players based on opt-outs and limited playing time?
I'm actually number one, I do love college prospects, recruiting, following those guys, seeing where they end up in the draft. But as far as the draft this year, I'm super into the draft because obviously we all know who the number one pick's going to be. After the pro day today and the throws that he made, the Jaguars are going to fucking take Trevor Lawrence. Interesting note, the Giants were at that workout. Now, they could have been looking at one of the wide receivers. I believe Clemson had I know actually there was a Notre Dame alumni, Chris Fink, catching passes today, but I think, Clemson had a couple guys there, whether they were.
I think we had I want to say it was 3 or 4, but.
So they obviously teams are looking at them as well. So other than Trevor Lawrence, though, every draft or mock draft I see, and it's updated daily, weekly, they're really changing. Like I've seen the Jets taking 6 different players. It's really interesting to see that there's not that second guy that everyone's like, that's the second pick. It's so different based on who you are, what you need, that there's not. And I've even seen the Jets taking, one draft had them taking, what's his name? Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. The other one had Justin Fields. So it's not even like
Ohio State.
But it's not even like there's not that second quarterback. People don't know who to take. So this is one of those drafts where I feel like you're going to see, maybe someone in like the 10 to 15 round be that next best player, because there's just not an agreement on who those top 2 players are, or even top 3 players are. It's really just moving around a lot.
Did you see Todd McShay's most recent mock draft?
No, who did he have them taking?
He had 4 quarterbacks going in the top 5 picks. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, and another thing I'm seeing, they're trying to predict like all these trades happening.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
So I think there are going to be a lot of trades. I do think a lot of teams will trade up.
Yeah.
Just for those quarterbacks that are available in this draft. If 1 or 2 go, people are going to trade it for the other guys.
Yeah. So that's one of those things. Like if you do one of those crazy bets where you bet like the top 10 picks to like in the correct order and you hit it, like you're gonna be rich, because it's gonna be impossible. It's gonna be impossible to do.
Yeah. It's not a bad call, actually. Just randomize it. Just roll some dice, see what comes up.
Right.
Got a probably better shot at predicting it.
Honestly, instead of trying to think it out.
Alrighty. Well, so next I got some NBA stuff. I do have one more NFL thing if you guys want to go back to it, if we have more time, or if you guys want to move to a new topic.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it at the end.
Yeah,
If
it's
have time.
we can do it another episode too. So it's
Oh,
not
cool.
yeah. All right, so NBA, obviously Derrick Rose traded to the Knicks. Seems to be making an immediate impact for you guys. What do you think his addition has done for New York?
Um,
I think if like 10 years ago, they would have been one of the most lethal teams in the league.
well, that's funny because I saw this question and about a couple nights ago, like when he got traded, I was telling my son like Derrick Rose was like he had like one of the best highlight tapes coming out of high school that you've ever seen. It's like if you ever watch it, it's insane.
He was nuts.
And so then like that, we went on like the YouTube like wormhole where we went from like his high school highlight tape to where even when he was on the Bulls, like he was just unreal. Like his athleticism was
Unmatched.
Watching him play, I was like, wow, this guy, I am surprised the Bulls didn't win multiple championships with him on the team. They were close.
I feel like he's going to be one of those, especially of like our generation of athletes, one of those biggest what ifs. Like if he had never gotten hurt, like what would have happened in his career?
And he got hurt multiple times. His stat line tonight was 14 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 7-11 from the field, which is nice, 4 steals, 2 turnovers in 18 minutes. So for me as a Knicks fan, I mean, getting him, we play a lot of guys, but it shows me kind of like the commitment of, I know he's like a Thibodeau guy, but maybe we're trying to make a push to get into the playoffs. You know, we traded a guy that wasn't even playing for him. So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it. I always like Derrick Rose. And then watching those highlights, you're like, it's one of those things like, what if he never got hurt? You know, like he was just so good. So good. Like if you go back and just after this episode, just type in Derrick Rose, prime Derrick Rose, Chicago Bulls, some of the shit he did was just unreal. I forgot all about it. I mean, he was probably like in the top 3 players in the league. You know, so it's a shame.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they were talking about him like the next big thing. You know,
yeah. But he also, if you watch him play now, he kind of reinvented himself. Where like he's become a better shooter from the outside. He can't like blow by guys. He still plays tough defense. He makes, he just makes smart plays and does what he can. His thing now is that he's like dedicating his time to like make younger players better. Like he's trying to kind of like give back, I guess, in a sense, and still like, still be a mainstay on whatever team he's on. So, I mean, I'm excited to have him on the team. He's fun to watch still, even though he's not like dunking on people and blowing by dudes and making crazy plays. But I'm excited about him being on the Knicks.
Yeah. You got anything to add to that one, Matt?
I mean, I'm obviously not excited for him to be on the Knicks because I'm a Magic fan. But I do think like what he was, if he could somehow regain that, he had one of the most like.
He's only 33 years old. Only
33. He literally he's am I the same age? When does that happen? Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure he's like. I'll look it up now, but go ahead, continue.
No, I was gonna say he really did have one of the more tragic injuries. He's on that team. Tracy McGrady, fucking Penny Hardaway.
He's my age. He's 32.
Yeah, where he just unfortunate injuries just derailed what would have been a fucking dominant career.
Yeah.
Also,
he's the same age as Steph Curry.
You know what? Fuck Steph Curry. And not for anything personal, because I feel like he's a good dude. I'm just sick of his shit. I'm just sick of Steph Curry's shit, man. This dude just showed up. Oh, I hit a 3. I hit another 3. Like, stop. Fucking stop. Just stop. Just fucking Steph Curry. So I got. Also, by the way, apparently somehow the shirt price went up. I guess I don't know if this is shipping included, but
by demand.
Each. By demand. They're 22 each. Is everyone still interested? Do you guys still want?
Yeah.
All right. Going for it.
This is actually kind of mind blowing because when you think of Derrick Rose, you think like he's so really old. He's the same age as Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, a year older than Blake Griffin.
I didn't even know Kevin Durant was in his 30s.
And a year older than Jimmy Butler.
The fuck?
I mean, it's crazy to think that Kevin Durant started on the Seattle Sonics.
that is
They
crazy.
were not the Sonics then, were
Yeah,
they?
they were. Yeah,
He
they
was
were.
drafted by
What
the
year did that
Seattle
change?
Sonics.
Literally the next year,
What?
I think. Right. He left
Yeah.
freshman year. He was Texas fresh, and he left after. He was the second pick after Odin. Right.
Great pick there.
Odin, the father
Yeah.
of Thor.
He went to also Odin went to your favorite school, and that's why his career was doomed.
Exactly. So what happened? Ragnarok fell upon him. Fucking bullshit. Fuck Ohio State, man. That fucking whole state. What a piece of shit. You ever drive through Ohio, you just immediately get bored and dumber? Like,
Pat,
it's
how's
the
your
worst.
Pat, how's your grandma doing in Cleveland?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I have no family in Ohio. So.
Thank God.
But our friend Bobby Tari,
Bobby does.
who talked shit to Matt actually on my phone at a wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know if Matt remembers that.
Did he?
Yeah.
So you and
Was
me,
I wasted? I was probably
I,
wasted.
I think we all were.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, Pat, let's move on here.
All right. Thoughts on the NBA still planning to do an All-Star weekend during a pandemic in a season that's already being impacted by COVID?
No, I don't think it's a bad call, honestly. I think as the American people need to start, not that I'm downplaying COVID. I do know it's a serious thing. My parents are immunocompromised. I don't want any risk. I don't think it's fake, but I do think we need to start like moving back towards normalcy because it's been a year at this point and people need that. Like they physically need it. And there's safe ways they can do the All-Star game. Like there's ways they can do it. We've seen them do it with the playoffs last year. They can pull this off. They need to fucking just bring something back because like we all desperately need it.
I mean, I guess I'm confused why it's like even a question of why they wouldn't do it because they're playing on a nightly basis regardless. They're all getting tested numerous times, you know, like even if you move it to one location and everyone get tested before they come in, bring alternates that can get tested. If someone tests positive, you can move them out. Like, and you still give everyone else like, I guess the main concern would be what are all those other players doing that aren't selected? Like, are they quarantining? Are they like hanging out? Are they going to families? Or like, how are they monitoring that? I don't think it's the players that are playing. I think it's more the players that are like, what's everyone else going to be doing in that like 5-day period?
Well, and I think too, like one of the reasons like the players think it's kind of hypocritical is like they just came out with the no hug ban, but yet
So fucking stupid.
But yet now we're gonna put all these guys from different teams together to play.
First of all, Barney is rolling in his grave. That purple fucking dinosaur that taught us all how to love.
He's a
When
Toronto
did Barney-
Raptor.
When did Barney die?
When we grew up, you know, the same time Tinkerbell did.
It's like when you lose that imaginary friend.
Once you get old enough, all your characters you knew as a kid just die?
man. Yeah.
Probably.
Damn, I don't
Have
think I
you
ever
seen
grew
him?
up then.
Have you seen him? Yeah, like
Yeah, where's he been at? He's not even on Netflix.
never
That's
there.
true. He's not. If he's not on Netflix, he's dead. Like
He's not streaming. He's fucked.
Yeah, you're not streaming. You don't exist anymore.
You know what? That brings up a good point. Who's remaking Barney? Let's bring that guy back.
You imagine they would bring back Barney, but it would be something like dark. Like, hold on, give me 1 second here. It'd be like, I love you in a world where dinosaurs still roam the earth, and you love me. One T-Rex is going to give it to the rest of these children. We're a happy family. Barney, 3D 2021. The carnage comes home. And it's just like him, like just shredding into like, I don't know, one of those random other dinosaurs he hung out with on that show. And
It's like one of the kids goes to give him a hug and just bites their arm off.
Yes. Coming to a theater near you. Maybe.
Have y'all seen the trailer for the new Nick Cage movie where he's in like a Chuck E. Cheese and it's like a horror movie?
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. I've heard about this. My niece loves that
He has
game.
to like
I
survive
haven't watched the trailer
night.
yet. Yeah.
Wait, is it based
Which
on that
so many-
game?
I'll fuck Chuck E. Cheese up, bro. Like Chuck E. Cheese has never run into a storm like me.
You're talking about new Chuck E. Cheese or old Chuck E. Cheese?
Both. I'll rip new Chuck E. Cheese apart, beat old Chuck E. Cheese with him, introduce him to the past.
Hey. Oh,
All right,
man.
I'll forward you guys that trailer so you can watch
Yeah.
it after we're done.
Please, that's great.
All right. One more NBA question for you guys. With about a third of the season almost completed, what teams and players have impressed you the most? Which have been the most disappointing?
Well, I mean, Bradley Beal has been ridiculous. He actually didn't play tonight against the Knicks, thank God, but he's putting up like 30 points a game. I guess people are speculating that he's going to get his way out of Washington and make his way to a contender or an up-and-coming team. There are rumors that the Knicks might try to do something. I wouldn't be opposed, depending on who they're giving up. But, I guess for the sake of the podcast, is LeBron having that MVP type season?
I mean, it's LeBron James, bro. He's gonna do it. Like he's gonna do it. I do love that video meme from Supreme Dreams, who's one of my favorite guys on the internet. Where he finds out Supreme Dreams is playing LeBron James, and he's like, he's dribbling around the court, and he finds out that James Harden went to the Nets. He's like, I can't keep doing this shit. I'm 36. I was like, this is fucking hysterical. Made my day. But it's so true. It's so fucking accurate. Like, LeBron's still going to keep putting out those MVP-like seasons. But we got to remember, like, dude is technically human. At some point, this has to slow down. But I think this is another one of those years.
What, I guess, instead of like what teams are disappointing you, who's your NBA Finals prediction right now? You predicted the Lakers winning last year. Will you keep the streak going right now with our awards committee present?
I can't turn it away from the Lakers again. I'm going to go with the easy choice and say it's going to be the Lakers. I think it's going to be LeBron against Giannis. I'm going to go with the easy option here. I think they finally get it together over there, and Giannis, figures it out, makes it out of this, second round is the deepest he's been? I think he finally pushes past that, and we see a battle kind of similar to what we saw in the Super Bowl this year. With like one GOAT getting ready to pass the torch. He didn't pass it yet, but getting ready to.
Well, you heard that from our most accurate NBA champion predictor.
Don't let the magic
the golden voice. Also, the newest producer on Here Comes Barney.
Here comes Barney. Barney's back.
Barney's
back again. Barney's back. Warn your friends.
Switch it up to baseball now, guys. We are mere weeks away, I think actually days away from I think pitchers and catchers report first, reporting for spring training. What has been the most exciting moves to you guys this offseason? Who are your favorites for the 2021 season? And who would you put as a dark horse?
Katy Perry. I mean, that's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Katy Perry songs. So.
Well, I mean, I would be surprised if Matt didn't pick his Mets, but
I'm going to.
I mean, you gotta say the favorites, the Dodgers. I mean, they're just loaded up. They don't care about luxury tax thresholds or anything like that. That's Pat's new team, but the Mets were his old team. He fucking ditched them live on the podcast.
Wow, rude. Honestly, just fucking rude.
Once he met Grumpy Cat and he got starstruck, he turned over.
You gotta say he just went too big for his own britches.
Told me I couldn't get the Grumpy Cat picture unless I became a Dodger fan. So,
I mean, I'd love to put my Yankees in there, but I just don't think they made enough moves, or as they are called them, Yankee type moves, where they're signing those big players. The only thing I can hope for is that all these young guys that they've been grooming and that they get better, that you see improvement. Yeah. I know a big thing, we talked about it with the NFL and them not having that preseason, that spring training. The baseball really didn't have anything. And the Yankees, the year prior had hired a whole new strength and conditioning staff due to so many injuries. And this offseason was their first year with them. It's like a worldwide, well-known guy. I believe his name's Eric Cressy, who trains multiple athletes over the whole spectrum. He's the new Yankees guy. And I think, the Yankees' problem has been injuries. You have Aaron Judge, Stanton, last year they had Paxton was hurt, like Severino. They have so many big players that are hurt. And I think hopefully with this new and improved thing where the players are actually, doing more stuff to benefit them in baseball and not just like crushing weights and crushing baseballs, that the Yankees can stay healthy and make that push. It would be tough though. You have a lot of good teams in the NL that once you get over there though, they're going to be tough to beat. So
if not the Yankees, who would you see coming out of the AL?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Astros are done. I think the Astros are done for the foreseeable future. You did have, George Springer leave the Astros, go to the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays still have a little bit to go. They don't really have the pitching staff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. You have the A's. They always make a decent push. The Central,
Moneyball.
The White Sox. The White Sox do have a good team.
Get some young
they do have some young players. I don't know. The AL has kind of dropped off for this year, which is good for the Yankees, but you're still going to have to play whoever that power. It's it's like how the East used to be for a while when the West and the NBA was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
That the West would be, even right now, I think, like if you looked at the standings, I like there's a team that's like 9-15 in the East and they're in like 7th place, and the 9-15 in the West is like in 15th. So it's that kind of imbalanced two divisions, two sides, two conferences, which this brings up a totally different conversation that I've heard proposed. But do you think in the future, instead of having like the conferences, divisions are good for in-season competition and regional rivalries, but do you think like they could do it in the NBA where I've seen it proposed where they just seed everybody 1 to 16 and just let them play? They just let them, no matter what they are, East or West, they just take the 16 best teams.
Are you talking strictly NBA right now?
Strictly NBA. I mean,
Okay.
you could do it for.
I think if
baseball,
anybody's doing it, it would be the NBA.
Yeah, but baseball would have to have universal rules. Like the DH would have to be a universal thing agreed upon.
Baseball has too many old heads though that just don't. That like I mean, I was going to ask you guys about the rule changes that they're keeping and not keeping, from the last season.
I was going to talk about that in general. Just sports in general. So many fucking old people.
They call them the traditionalists.
Yeah, well, but also just like I'm gonna rip on the whole generation here. Just boomers in general. Like you guys need to chill the fuck out. Just like stop. Your time is over. It's past. Let us take over. It's a millennial time to reign. Just sit down and shut the fuck up. Like Jesus Christ, these guys sort of put the word in my day. It's not your fucking day. It's literally a different millennium. Just sit down and shut up. Like, just let us handle this. We got this shit.
I remember when Notre Dame was making the switch to grass because the field was never kept up to turf. Literally, there was like World War III.
Yeah, you would think it was the end of the world just because these guys can't fucking read a goddamn computer. It's just, just in general, in life, I'm just so annoyed with boomers.
Let's. I pushed this off topic here, but do you have a MLB prediction for this year, Matt?
Mets. The Mets will win against the Mets. The Mets versus the Mets. No. Dream scenario for me, obviously, would be a Subway Series, actually. I didn't get to fully enjoy that when I was younger. Like, I would have loved to go to a game and didn't get the chance to.
Yeah.
And I want the Mets in. That's really all I know. I want the Mets to do it. I want them to win. I don't know if it's necessarily their year, but I'm gonna say the Mets.
I think they're building towards.
They're definitely building towards
it.
They're not going to do it this year. I would love it if they did. I would love it if they did. Oh God, but I don't think this is your year.
Yeah,
I don't know who I'd give it to.
I'll
actually.
pull for the Subway Series too.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd
I
give
just
it
think
to
what the
after that.
Dodgers, have is just going to be.
It's gonna be tough to beat. They're already defending.
Fucking
I mean, yeah.
pitching rotation is insane.
Imagine you know what? This is something we didn't talk about, but like the Rams were actually under a stupid amount of pressure this year. Like they could have had 3 winning teams, which I don't think anybody's been close to outside of Boston, maybe ever. You know what I mean? Like to have 3 winning teams, and like nobody's counting on the Kings, like because it's not 2012.
So if Tampa Bay Rays had won the World Series, then Tampa would have had 3 winning teams this year.
Yeah, that's true.
The Lightning won the NHL Stanley Cup.
Oh shit, you're right. They did. Oh my god.
Now it's all on the Orlando Magic to bring it home for Florida.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
But that's actually
I would go
something
nuts because I'd be the only true Magic fan in the entire world.
The pressure on the Rams that you were just talking about, I know we're not talking about NFL anymore, but I still listen to some ESPN LA radio, and they were saying, you got the Lakers who are contending for titles, the Dodgers who are contending for titles. Is Stan Kroenke really going to let the Rams be like below one of these other teams as like one of the top teams in Los Angeles? Like, let's
not forget there's also the Chargers.
Yeah, like do you want to be the second best NFL team in your own city, like in your own stadium that you built?
That's it. God, can you say that to the Giants just a little bit louder?
I don't think you have to worry about being the second best team in your own stadium there.
I mean, I don't know. There's times I question it. Like as long as Gettleman's at the helm. It's like, hog ballers. I'm like, shut up and eat a sandwich, fucking boomer.
All right. So, Matt, this one's for you mainly.
All right.
Just a Mets question. So, Mets and Cubs are engaging in talks for Chris Bryant right now. What would you think about the Mets acquiring him? What would he bring to that team?
Honestly, it would just be cool to win. You know what I mean? To win a free agent, potential free agent would be awesome. And I think he would bring, in lack of a better word, hope. Like, oh my God, like, do you know what it would mean for like Mets fans to see, like, oh my God, like that's a guy whose name I fucking know that's on the team and he's not past his prime. Like, it would be awesome. So I'm gonna go with yes, I want to see it, if that was your first question. Mm-hmm. And he would bring hope. He would bring fucking hope. Like, I would love to have I just want them to bring in everyone. The fact that we're actually competing for guys now is huge. Yeah. It's absolutely huge. Like, I just get a little bit of spark in my soul. A year ago,
you wouldn't have even been in the Bauer conversation.
Not even a little bit. So it's like missing out isn't that bad because we actually tried, like to try and fail is different than to do nothing.
And I think the biggest thing with Bauer too is the connection to Southern Los Angeles or Southern California as well.
I fully agree. I fully agree. Like he went home, which like you can't blame a guy for.
I mean, here's the thing: if the Dodgers win with Bauer, it was the best signing. If they lose with him, it's the worst signing because he was an overrated for what he got paid, an overrated prospect as far as like as pitchers go.
They're paying to win now. Yeah.
Right. 100%. And if they don't, it's a huge failure because you're shelling out over 40 million a season for a guy that had really a Cy Young season on a shortened season where he pitched 15 games
and has been kind of a hothead,
Yeah.
And
great follow on Twitter though. I will say that.
But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And that's another thing I saw is like you got guys like Corey Seager. Like, what if you end up losing out on him long term because you can't afford him because of a contract like this?
Yeah, I just see the Dodgers I don't see them like not signing a guy because of money, money.
Yeah, I don't either. But
just from what they've shown. But who knows? It could change. It could change when you're not winning. Then it's like, all right, well, let's be competitive, but let's not be paying all this money out to the rest of the league.
Yep. And then last MLB question here. I don't know if there are any, but are there any free agents your teams are still looking at? You're very interested to see where they would end up. I know, like for me as a Dodgers fan, Justin Turner is out there, and I would love to see him come back to LA just because he's been there forever. I think he's like kind of becoming an icon in Dodger baseball, and I'd like to see him in his career there.
Yeah. I don't think the Yankees Brett Gardner is still a free agent. He's played with the Yankees for a 16-year career. Would I like to see him retire a Yankee? Yes. Do I think he offers value to the team in certain situations? Yes, but we also have like two really good young outfielders that aren't getting the opportunity because Brett Gardner's been in that spot. You know, we have Clint Frazier, and the guy can fucking swing the bat, huge power hitter, and he hasn't gotten that opportunity because Brett Gardner's been in that spot. So it's a tough thing. Like I personally think it's time for Brett Gardner to move on. Did I want to see him play for another team? No, you don't want to see a guy that's spent his whole career with your squad playing for another team at the end of it. But it happens a lot of the time, you know? So Brett Gardner would probably be that guy where I'm like, it's 50-50, you know?
Yeah.
I think we could win, you know, we can win with him, but we can also win giving other guys opportunity without him.
Yeah.
But for the Yankees, there's not really that big free agent out there anymore. It's kind of adding pieces here and there just for every team. You know, there's not, I mean, Justin Turner, I'm surprised. I didn't even know he was a free agent still.
Yeah. He actually just got off. He's got offers from the Dodgers and the Brewers right now. So,
yeah. And he's also a ginger. So ginger brother,
big old orange beard.
When is National Hugger Ginger Day? That's coming up.
You gonna fly down here for it?
Yeah, I might. Hold on, let me look it up.
All right, y'all ready to do a couple NCAA questions?
Yeah.
It's November 5th. Wait. November 5th is National Love Your Red Hair Day. January 12th is Kiss a Ginger Day.
Oh, you guys missed it.
Just missed it.
We're gonna have to wait a whole year. Damn it.
Oh, you get ready though.
All right, NCAA. Pat Fitzgerald signs a big 10-year deal with Northwestern amid some NFL potential rumors this offseason. What do you think about his deal? And do you think he'll be there for the whole 10 years? I feel like, you know, those longer deals, you know, you just don't know.
I think contracts are just all like, they're all BS. I mean, what do they even mean? I mean, you have the guaranteed money in the NFL. But other than that, like if you sign $100 million contract and $20 million is guaranteed, like you're going to lose out on that other $80 million. I think it's a nice, secure thing to have. And like maybe as a coach, I feel like coaches in college football get paid out their contracts if they were to get terminated.
Yeah.
Why not have a 10-year contract getting paid really good money? And if you ever want to go to the NFL and get paid more money, you can go. You know, Pat Fitzgerald is one of those guys that I know he was up for a couple of jobs, but he's one of those guys that's like, he's also been rumored to be a future coach of Notre Dame, possibly down the line, just based on his area and how he runs the team and yada, yada, yada. But for me, contracts don't really mean shit. Like, you know, Jim Harbaugh, didn't he have a lifetime contract?
You just signed another 6-year deal or something?
God damn it. If we don't, like, what are we even doing? We just let him go. Just let him walk off into the sunset and call it a day.
You know what's crazy, though? They signed like a crazy good recruiting class this year, too.
Yeah.
And having one of the shittiest seasons they've had.
I just don't understand it. I don't have faith in it. I would love to be proven.
What if there were some McDonald's bags involved?
Please. This isn't Louisiana, but please, for the love of God, prove me wrong, Jim. Do everything you can to prove me wrong because I came for your job and I didn't get it. So, like, just prove me wrong. That's all I'm asking.
What do you think, Pat, contract-wise? Do you think, like, does it even matter anymore? Like,
no. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I really don't think it does. I feel like the only thing that matters is like a familiarity. Like Tony Elliott, our offensive coordinator at Clemson, gets rumored every year to be going somewhere else.
So does Venables.
Brent Venables every year to go. They're being paid. I mean, Tony Elliott, they just upped his pay. He's being paid $2 million to be our offensive coordinator a year.
Right.
Like, why would you? You know, where are you going to go? Like, he's competing.
You're not taking all the heat.
No, yeah. And I think that's like with Pat Fitzgerald at North. You know, he's an alumni. There, he's a was a big player there. Like, I think it's just one of those things. Like, I don't think he's worried about getting fired. Like, I just think it's just like, okay, here's more security blankets.
There's no. You're talking about Northwestern. There's no expectation to win.
Yeah.
You know, kids are going to that school for,
not football.
Not football.
Yeah.
And the kids that go there for football, they're not, top of the line. There's no expectation that you're
Yeah.
going to be competing for a national title.
You don't have the pressure.
If you compete, like this year, if you have the opportunity to play, for a Big Ten championship, then, good for you. So I think it depends on the place. But as far as like giving that contract, he could go and do whatever he wants next year, and it won't even matter.
Well, and I mean, and you look at coaches like that just pop in my head, for example, like Lane Kiffin, who took a deal one place and then the next year was gone. It's just like coaches can do whatever the hell they want. Like it really doesn't matter. And the school that's going to get them, if they have to pay some money to that other school, they're going to do it. Like it's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm agreeing. I think contracts are a little overrated.
Very overrated. I mean, they've got to be, I feel like, just in general, reworked. I mean, for everyone. Like, there's no one who has a
some type of accountability.
Yeah.
Like an actual contract.
Yeah, like it should matter.
You can't
leave. Or you can't just cut a player, even for pros. Like, you can't just cut a player. Like, all right, fuck, we gave this contract, but you're cut. Like, you're beat. Like, no. Like, you can't. What's the point then?
Yeah. All right. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Alabama's offensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian, is now the new head coach for Texas. What do you think about this hire? Will he be able to return Texas to glory?
I think just having that Alabama background and having one of the most prolific offenses in college football ever, he's already getting, he already has the street cred. I'm more skeptical just because he was good in Washington. He was okay in USC, but he fell off the boat. Now, maybe if he's right the ship and he has no outside issues, he can do a good job. I mean, Texas, luckily for all these other college teams, hasn't been a powerhouse since fucking Mac Brown, Vince Young.
Yep.
And we haven't had to worry about them, taking all the top players. So I am a little, they're due. They're due to have success. Now, Steve Sarkisian as a decision maker, his track record proves when he is not under Nick Saban that he isn't the best.
And it's like you just talked about pressure. Like you want to talk about pressure. Texas is pressure.
Texas is scary for football.
It's probably one of the most pressured. I mean, Todd Herman was there for 3 years, and see ya. Matt. What did you think about the Steve Sarkisian hire?
Listen,
he's no Jim Harbaugh.
He's no Jim Harbaugh. That's actually
he's no Matthew Ferrer.
I'm like, he's no I offered. Like I came out there and I presented myself. I gave an excellent speech about how he should be there. I'm not gonna lie though, I've been burned very badly by college football, and I haven't been paying as close attention to it as I should, just because I've been so badly burned. I had high expectations for this season, and I got
undefeated season prediction.
Yeah, and I got crushed into the mud and then hit with a boulder. And then as I finally emerged from under the boulder and started to pull myself out of the mud, a meteor came and smacked the planet and an extinction level event began. And I was at the epicenter of this crisis. So I'm not happy with anything in the NCAA. It's very tough for me even to watch college basketball at this point. I'm having a hard time. I'm not going to lie.
Michigan has a good college basketball team, though. I mean,
they do, but it's still just tough. It's just hard right now.
It's just not the same. It's not the same without fans.
And apparently, all of our coaches are just former players, which is cool at first. But then I'm like, part of me wanted Tom Brady because I realized I think it was the third quarter of the Super Bowl. I was like, wait, if the Chiefs come back and Tom Brady loses, maybe he'll retire and then go to coaching, and then he'll go to Michigan, and then we'll start winning again. I had all these scenarios crossing through my head as the things that could happen that were all just entirely incorrect. So I've just been broken. I just hurt. I'm dead inside. That's what I feel about Steve Sarkisian.
That's fair. I'll accept that as an answer. All right, so we'll go with the last one here. This is just kind of something I've been watching. Have you guys been paying attention to Coach Deion Primetime Sanders? And are you impressed with what he's doing in Jackson State and the talent he has acquired so far?
Sorry. If
Go
you're
ahead,
about to talk,
Matt. Go
Sean.
ahead,
All
Matt.
right, my bad. So yeah, I haven't been paying close attention to it because, like I said, I'm dead inside. But I still think his entrance was something that we're going to talk about in the annals of history. Like, it was so fucking epic. I can't even hate on it. I don't know how well it translates though. I just don't see Primetime as a coach, and maybe that's just me. Maybe that's from growing up watching him as that showboating guy. I just don't see him as a long-term bring success head coach, as opposed to he's almost like this is not a good comparison. It was the first one I could think of. It's almost like Lonzo Ball coaching a team, where it's going to be more boisterous. But however, Primetime is so much more to back it up. So much more to back it up. It's just, I'm thinking that immediately, almost like loudmouth guy on the sidelines. That I'm just like, I just don't know if it's going to work. Does that make sense? Does that kind of did you get where I was coming from? Because that's, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sean?
Yeah, I think it's almost like if Tom Brady were to coach, you don't know how great of a coach he would be. Now, I wouldn't want to doubt Tom Brady, but Deion Sanders is flashy. They're bringing in the players. I have to think it has to translate long term to, you got to look at wins and losses. If he's going to be able to win games and, beat expectations, that's great. I think in the beginning, when he's this coach, everyone's talking about it. If he has a bad season, that's going to change. In sports, it changes really fast. He has to really. I can't make a decision on what I think he's going to do because I have to see him. You got to see that. Give him the 4 years.
Yeah.
To see kind of get his guys, recruit his guys, and see if he can translate that to wins and losses, or I mean, just wins. Because if he's translating to losses, he's done.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as an entertainer, a guy that a TV personality, I mean, he's amazing. He has to really captivate. He's a young guy, it's almost like high school kids though, don't even know who he is at this rate.
Yeah.
They have never
Very
even
true, actually.
You have to think they have never seen him play. He has to pull up the tape and show.
And even that's not going to resonate the same way.
So it's a little different. I mean, he definitely has more pull just saying, hey, I was this, and this. He could drop the resume. And, I believe his recruiting class is pretty solid. And at his team, he got a 4-star guy at Jackson State, which is, unheard of.
One of them was his kid.
Okay.
But no, he did. He got a couple good transfers from JUCOs. I saw, and then I think he got maybe 1 or 2 from the transfer portal, and then I think he got 2 decent recruits that were 4 or 3 stars.
Yeah, he has to translate. He really has to translate that to, wins on the field. That's what I'd be interested to see. I know he's going to do what he's done already just by who he is. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Matt, trivia question right now, real quick.
Oh, shit.
Deion Sanders played for 5 teams in his career. Can you name them? I believe you got at least 3 of them, but the last 2.
Actually, a little tough. So the Cowboys, the Falcons.
Yep.
Part of me wants to say the Cardinals for some reason.
No, not the Cardinals, but I'll give you a hint.
Cardinals.
It's a team in their division. He played for 1 year in between the Falcons and the Cowboys.
The Niners?
Yep.
Okay. That was on my list too.
So that was his prime, was the Falcons, the Niners, the Cowboys. And then he played 1 year, and then he made a comeback 4 years later with one team, but I don't really know how that went.
Question: how many rings does he have?
Only when he played with the Cowboys. Actually, well, I'd have to look at who won. Let's see.
If you go on Wikipedia, it should say his total number.
Yeah, let me see. During his career, he was named to 8 Pro Bowls, received first-team All-Pro honors 9 times, and made consecutive Super Bowl appearances in Super Bowl with the 49ers, who beat the Chargers. So he won that with them. And the Cowboys, the next Super Bowl, which he won with them. So I believe he is too.
For some reason, I want to say the Raiders.
No, I mean that is a place. That is a place where guys go.
Yeah, for some reason I just wanted to say that. I'm trying to think who else do I have
Not
here.
gonna lie, I just saw the other two and I would have never.
Yeah, I will.
Can I get a hint for the other two?
They both start with R. I don't know how many R teams there are, but that might eliminate all of them.
They start with R. He played in Washington?
Yeah, for 1 year.
Really? Oh my God! And who else? Baltimore.
Yeah, but that was like his comeback year. He had played for 2 seasons. I don't know.
I actually wouldn't have guessed those either. I would not have gotten those right.
4-year gap between the Redskins and Baltimore.
Wow.
Soon after being released by the Cowboys, the Washington Redskins signed Sanders to a $56 million 7-year contract. At the end of the 2000 season, he abruptly retired.
I was about to say, did he retire?
Yeah. After 1 year.
That's crazy.
So he just wanted to leave the Redskins.
I mean, who wouldn't?
The Redskins in 2002, the Redskins waived Sanders from his reserve retired list in order to potentially allow him to play for the Oakland Raiders for the playoffs.
Ooh.
Had he passed their waivers unclaimed, he would have been able to sign a free agent contract with any team or player in that season. 5 teams put in a claim for him, so he never got.
It's like the majority of the league.
Yeah, he bore number 37 for the Ravens.
Yeah, never would.
He played on all 16 games in 2005. Jam.
That's fucking wild.
And he had 2 picks. Like, goddamn. I mean, I just remember him being a fucking giant killer in the 90s.
Just fucking for a while.
Damn you, Deion Sanders. I wonder if Washington Dave, did he have a Deion Sanders jersey as a child? You might have to ask him that. I want to know. But all right, well, Pat, I'd like to thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks so
much. About time.
About damn time.
I was good to see you far more often.
Yeah. I'm always down.
We just might have to change those. Next year, we'll have to put those Mets World Championship banners up.
Yeah, they're in the closet right now. I'll pull them out later.
Matt, before we get going, tell everyone where they can find us.
If you guys
and Deion Sanders is on the Ravens.
Wait, it's 2004. Wait, is that what you just said to me?
Yeah, he came out of retirement 4 years later. Yes,
it was 2004.
And 5, yeah. He played for 2 years with them.
That doesn't sound like a real thing. 2000. I'm shocked by all that. All right, so you can find us on Instagram at YMINerdOfficial. That's WHYAM, the letter I, A Nerd Official. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at YMINerd, spelled exactly the same way. On Twitter at 4th, that's the number 4, THANDWON pod. Please like, rate, review, and subscribe wherever possible. 5 stars, as always, is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. I'm Sean.
And I'm Matt.
We will catch you next time.
Goddamn right.